friends, Ingrid Aria here. Hope you're having a good day, whatever time zone you're in. I wanted to speak with you today about making yoga asana or yoga poses right for you, and the importance to modify. I'm working with a teacher training group. We're getting up to the place of going more in depth into modifications. And one thing is that we can so easily think that the way yoga poses are pictured either in drawings or in promotional material on social media, that there's one pose and that we're all trying to get to that place, and that anything different that we do is a sign that we're doing less than, is a sign that we haven't really gotten there yet. And this is all not true for sure. Really, yoga asana, there's never one version of what a pose is going to be, because there's no one human being, right? Like, we all have, even if we have the same anatomy and we're basically built the same way, designed the same way, when we come out of the womb, and that's still rough, right? Give or take, there's always unique differences that we have. The way we use our bodies throughout our lives, there's going to be imbalances, and there's going to be different strengths and weaknesses that we develop along the way, and there's going to be, now that's just speaking about your physical body. What about when you talk about your energetic or emotional body, or how you carry yourself, and if you don't believe in, or it sounds too abstract, what do my emotions have to do with my physical body? Feel how would you embody a state of feeling hopeless, worthless, sad, abandoned, or any of these really crappy feelings that we can feel and experience at times? There's usually a flexion forward, a caving inward, a reduction of self, right? Then think of how you feel if you feel safe, if you feel loved, if you feel like the world is your oyster, you have all the choices in the world, you're supported, you're nourished, people are rooting for you, like you've got what it takes. Okay, you start, there's an openness, there's a lifting up, there's an ascension, you get a little taller, your breath can get a little bigger, right? So these are facts that how you're feeling in the moment is going to affect your physical self. And then you can go into your thoughts, what's going on in your thought world, and how is that going to affect how you're carrying your body, and so forth and so on. Is your body affecting your thoughts and emotions, vice versa? It's a chicken and an egg debate, but basically we know that we're much more than our physical selves, and so all of us is affecting the whole, right? Your thoughts, your emotions, your body, they're all impacting each other. What yoga is, it helps us do is it helps us connect and align with all of those, identify with all of those, make space for all of ourselves on the mat, not just the positive aspects, also the crummy, crappy moods, and to be okay with that in a non-judgmental space, right? So I don't get off track, because it can happen. So understanding that we're human beings, we're not machines, so it's not like you're not a microwave. You don't come with an instruction book and say, okay, I know my knee can flex and extend, and this is how it, but how do I flex and extend my knee when I'm walking? Where do I put my weight? Do I overstrain? Do I like all these unique ways that you use your body that go askew from your owner's manual, right? There's no one size fits all, and that's a beautiful thing, because it just is, right? So there's no, there should be no feelings of shame. You need not feel any shame because your body doesn't do the pose in the way the pose is shown or spread across social media. No worries. There needs to be, pictures are great because it gives us a general idea of where we're going, but it's not an ideal, it's an idea. And we got to remember that, right? So modifications, how you can make sure that you're modifying for your needs, on your physical, emotional, mental self, self-knowledge. So you know you are in possession of your owner's manual of your being. You know how you move. You know your patterns and habits. You have turned the lights on in your unconscious ways of how you move through this world and the ways things affect you and how you carry your life and yourself. That's one. And another one is to now know your options. What are your options for changing a pose? Not changing it, but really customizing a yoga asana for you and your unique needs. Be they your physical body, your emotional body, what's your energetic state? If you're coming to practice wiped out and exhausted, a practice that's just demanding you to go, go, go is probably not going to be so nourishing. You know, if you're getting off your mat and feeling more depleted than you were when you got on your mat, something's wrong here. You're not using yoga to serve you. You're serving yoga, and that's unnecessary. And it's backwards, you know. So what are your options? And this is where the role of a teacher comes in. This is where the role of an objective eye comes in. And yoga was never really, can I say it was never meant or intended, or it was never really taught. Like, you don't just teach yourself from a book. We have these amazing resources. We can teach ourselves from books. We can teach ourselves from social media. We can teach ourselves from looking at others, but it's really about developing a relationship. It's about our relationship with ourselves. And how do we really support building a relationship with ourselves? First, you build a relationship with a teacher because you invite an objective eye to see you in the ways, in the rooms where you haven't yet turned the lights on, to see you in your unconscious habits where you might not know that you sit with all your weight on one side of your body. So when you come to your yoga practice, you're going to need to use the sides of your body differently because we're all asymmetrical. So we're just looking, how can you use your yoga asana practice, your physical practice on your mat to bring you in your gorgeous asymmetry and your real self into a state of greater balance where you can bring more appreciation, humbleness, softness to the places where you're strong, and more support to the places where you are less developed. Right? So it's so important to study with someone, to find someone who you really connect with. Again, it's not a crutch. It is to eventually get you to a place of independent practice. And within your studying with a teacher, you should be supported to develop a home practice, and you should be guided on how to do that. So really to connect with someone who you feel in your gut like they've got the information you need and you want. You feel that they are in a place of integrity in their relations, so they're doing their own practice as well, and there's a respect for their power, there's a respect they have for their own seat of being a teacher, for their authority. There's not an abuse of that authority, and you see that in how do you feel when they talk to you, how do they talk to people in general, do they speak down to you, or do they see you at eye level? Do they lift you up? It's so important that we go for teachers that really see our greater potential, and rather than knocking us down for not yet being there, hold space and give us the support for us to blossom into more of ourselves. It's so crucial. So you want to explore. Know that you have teachers. There's so many teachers out there. Who speaks to you, who has the information you need, who sees you and treats you in your greatness, has a great respect for you, sees the divinity that's in you, and who knows also the many options that there are, right? Because you might modify for your physical body in one way, but then you might come to your mat and say, okay, more than me dealing with, let's say, lower back pain or whatever, my ankle is acting up today, I really want to come to yoga practice to deal with some sadness that I've been feeling inside, or I want to come to yoga practice to deal with some stress and anxiety or a lack of focus that I can't connect with. So really to know what are my options then. And again, a teacher's there to support you, to rise up, to know more about your patterns, not to judge yourself, but to understand more of how you walk through the world, so then you can have more options, so that you are more adaptable, so that you have less wear and tear on certain parts of your being. You know, we're like we have machines and we might be very familiar with using them. You know, like I have a microwave, I'll be honest. It came with the apartment. So I know really just how to press like the quick 30 or something button. I don't know all the other stuff. So really, if I ever use a microwave, which is pretty rare, it's like quick 30. I don't know the other buttons. So I'm wearing that button out much more because I don't know my other options. I'm not so invested in the microwave, so I'm not really planning to learn. If I get that information, great. Am I going to go study my manual? No. But for myself, I better study my own manual. For myself, I better find a teacher that can help me know all of my options, you know, different ways of being more present, different ways of, you know, with my microwave, like cooking, time, pausing, etc. So explore who's out there, who do you resonate with, who's got the information that you feel not just can keep you going in the road that you're already going, taking you on your strengths, but maybe bring in a little balance, you know. This stuff is real. When you do your work, I'm working with a client who really for years told me, like, for years this client was not able to really weight bear while, let's say, being in a seated position, so kind of like your chair pose where your knees are bent. The client wasn't really able to weight bear in that position without losing some balance. And I had a message after doing, you know, a session with me and doing the work I prescribed the client to do at home on their own, a miracle happened and they were able to get into a position they haven't been able to get into years. It's not, you know, magic. It's doing the work, showing up, and doing the work that was given to you with great awareness and expertise of what is best for you to help you get to your goal, right? So explore who's out there and who speaks to you. Explore also, if you're studying with someone, how do you feel, and can you turn to them and maybe get more guided support, maybe get more one-on-one time, to really develop more of your own practice, to develop your own relationship with yourself and with your yoga practice, because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, our relationships with ourselves. And that being said, I'm taking a few more clients to work with me one-on-one, so again, I can support you working towards your goals, supporting you in turning on the lights and what your unconscious patterns might be. How we move through the worlds in our bodies is often something connected with how we move through our lives and our patterns and our relationships. It's all connected, so when you focus on one area, you can bring in awareness to all. So that is what I'm sharing with you today. Before I go into a whole other rant, maybe I'll have another talk today. Any questions that you want to share, you want to ask, any things you want to know about specific ways to modify your yoga asana practice to really bring you to a greater state of balance or ease or joy or centeredness, or a physical issue that you're dealing with, be in touch. You'll get a free phone consultation with me. I'm taking a few new clients for the next coming months to work one-on-one, either live in person or online, because I can see it from wherever we're connecting. And have a wonderful day, everyone.